Aloha and welcome to Captain TV and to our program, I Can Make It. My name is Elijah Kaaka. In our last program, I shared with you my life journey. Today in our program, we have a special guest by the name Brenda. She's going to share with us so many things about her life and how she managed up to the university level, even being a lecturer at the university. Welcome so much, my dear sister.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Let me start by explaining about my childhood,
Right.
up to the level where I am.
Sure.
As you had said, that being physically challenged has no limits.
Sure.
I grew up in the rural area,
Right.
and at a very tender age, I contracted polio, and so both of my legs, they could not work. And that is where my problems began, because the moment my people in my village discovered that she can't walk, she can't go farming, she cannot do anything, definitely I was rendered a hopeless person.
At which age did
I got the polio at age 3.
Okay.
But then you see, going to school became a problem.
Sure.
And one thing that I want to make it clear is that my own parents, my uncles, my friends, they felt that disability is like a curse when it comes home. And my father was a traditional guy.
Sure.
So he believed that.
Yeah, in most, you find that in the African culture, you find that when you're disabled, it's like a taboo even to the society. It's
Yes.
like a shame to the family members.
Yes.
Yes.
But my mother, being a teacher, she took me to a boarding school at a very early age.
Right.
And it was a special school, Portruis Primary School for the physically handicapped. And that is where, when I was in standard 4, I discovered I'm different from the rest.
Okay.
Because there were a bit of some discrimination,
Sure.
marginalization, lots of prejudices
Sure.
around everything about Brenda. But that did not weigh me down.
Sure.
I got a bit determined. I said, I have to work so hard and become a better person.
Sure. When you joined a primary school, that was a boarding school for physically challenged.
Yes.
What about when you proceeded to the secondary
Now,
school?
the secondary school was a regular school.
Okay.
You can hear about inclusive education,
Sure.
integrating people with disability into regular school.
Right.
It is not easy. You know, integration is not inclusion. You'll be taken to the school, you will be admitted, but is the school prepared for this child,
Right.
for this student with disability?
Yes.
Our school wasn't. It was a struggle because it was a school in the rural area, Mulango Girls in Kitui.
Okay.
And most of the time, to access water, you have to go to the river.
Wow.
I had crutches, I had calipers. So there were no systems in place to accommodate a person with disability.
Sure.
When you have disability, you have very few friends
It is true.
because they look at you as a burden. They feel if I associate myself with Brenda, then it means I'll be carrying her bag, I'll be doing stuff for her. There's no room for the growth.
Sure.
Like a good example is the social environment. The teachers do not understand you. The students do not understand you. Even the staff, they don't understand you. And you are in your own world. You are lonely in the midst of people. That's not fun. It isn't fun. But after my fourth form, still at home there were struggles.
Right.
My mom and dad, there was push and pull of she should go to school, she shouldn't go to school. She should go to college, she shouldn't go to college.
Okay.
And that one brought a little bit of unrest.
Uh-huh.
And I thank Mulango Girls because they had a program which was called Office Practice and Typing.
Mm-hmm.
I learned how to type.
Right.
By the time I was leaving Form 4, I could do 60 words plus per minute typing without error.
Okay.
And that is what now was like my stepping stone. When I started looking for a job, fresh from Form 4,
Right.
I could not get any. The moment you appear, you know, this employer should listen to this.
Sure.
When my legs are not working, it doesn't mean my head is also like my legs.
True. Very true.
I'm just weak. I'm walking slowly, but I'm intelligent. I have the skills. But I remember one guy who had his own computer farm.
Okay.
So he said, Brenda, if you can do those words per minute,
Right.
I trust you.
Okay.
So I'll give you something to do.
So at this moment, the parents were not to be in a point of agreement whereby you'd be sport supported to the college level?
They did not. I told you there was a push and pull thing, and at one point I could really empathize with my mother.
So in this case now you're on your own side, or like...
Yes, I was on my own.
Right.
And something that I need to bring to your attention is that my grandmother was very influential.
Okay.
She influenced my dad to believe that I will not become anything. And in that connection, don't invest anything, even 1 shilling on her.
This was too bad. Okay.
He believed it.
Okay.
And he worked toward it. But when I started working in this computer farm in Kitui town, this employer discovered that I'm beyond what he thought.
That was good.
And so he started facilitating my growth, just learning there. So I learned these softwares, computer softwares, and I could do the typing very fast. He was getting some jobs from different places for typing, and we were doing very well.
Right.
One day, I met Father Francesco Pierli, the founder of Institute of Social Ministry. He had come to do evaluation on programs which were linked to ISMM or Somirenek. And it happened, I had just moved from the computer farm to this social program whereby they were addressing social issues in the society. And there I was still a secretary. That guy had met me in this other different place, and he was impressed by the way I typed.
Right.
And he was in the company of a lady who was called Benvenuto Paula. And Paula proposed that, why can't she come to Tangaza and do something? So that is how I ended up in Tangaza University College.
That was it. Thank you very much, our viewer who is watching us right now. Our guest, who is Brenda Kemo, is really unveiling or giving us more information about how she made it up to this far. And I hope you're going to learn so many things. Continue watching us at this time as our program is ongoing. Yes.
When I met Benvenuto Paula,
sure,
I knew that my life is about to change. But as I said earlier, it's your inward being,
sure,
that pushes you towards your success.
Right.
As a person living with disability, if you wait for people to approve you to belong, then you will never belong. You need to work hard, extra hard. So when I came here, instead of joining studies, I was given a job as a typist.
That was good. Uh-huh.
So the current employer, who is still in Tangaza College for the Michael, he was impressed by my speed of typing, and he wanted to publish books.
That was good.
So I was given job instantly.
Great.
And that's how I moved to Nairobi.
Okay.
A village girl.
Okay.
In the city.
That is good.
Then I felt I need to go back to school.
Sure.
To do something.
Mm-hmm.
So I did a bit of some savings.
Mm-hmm.
I joined Kenya Institute of Management.
Okay.
I did a diploma in human resource management. I excelled very well. And I felt that's not enough.
Right.
You know, when you have ambition and you want to scale the heights,
sure,
you work double hard.
Very true.
As a person living with disability.
Sure.
So,
because now at this point now you want to disapprove them that it is true you can make it.
Exactly.
Sure, sure.
But as I'm telling you this, there were so many obstacles on the way.
Very true.
So many challenges.
We're going to come on that. Yes.
And one thing I'm happy about is that I was able to join a Bachelor of Arts in here in Tangaza College, Sustainable Human Development.
Right.
And I was given, both of them I had partial scholarships from the same man, Father Francesco Pierli. And he believed in me.
Right.
I don't know why.
Okay.
But somehow he was telling me, Brenda, I know you can make it.
Yeah, sure.
Brenda, you have the brains.
Right.
And guess what?
That is good.
That one was right, because the first degree, BA, Sustainable Human Development.
Right.
I graduated with a first class.
Wow.
He was so happy. And a day I was seated in my office,
Yes.
he sends his friend or a colleague,
Yes.
Mapopa Oscar,
Right.
go tell Brenda to go straight to master's class. So,
And at this time that you got good news that you're required to go to progress or further your studies to the master's level.
yes.
And you're still employed.
Yes.
Right.
And I had a feeling like, am I ready for that? Remember, I had just graduated in October.
Sure.
And this is January. Brenda, go back to class.
Okay. So it felt like you needed some break?
A little bit of some man, but there was no room.
Okay.
I was told, hey, there's no time. You go to class.
Sure.
I went to class.
Right.
Sat there, and I was wondering, are they paying the school fees or what is happening?
So you didn't have a clue of what is going on?
Nothing. I didn't have an admission letter, nothing.
You're just told go to class?
Go to class.
All right.
So I went to talk to my employer. I told him, you know what? Francesco said that I go to class. That's for the period.
Yes.
And he may say, go.
The employer now is
Father
also,
Michael
he's
Kero.
also saying that you should go back to
He
class.
said, go.
Right.
If Pieli said you go, go.
Yes.
So I went to class. So that's how I joined masters.
Okay.
And
But you're still working, yeah?
Yes, I'm
Right,
still working.
right.
You know, it's part-time. The classes were evening programs.
Yes.
And Friday, Saturday.
Sure.
So they could not really interfere with my work.
All right.
But I had now moved from a typist now to be an administrative assistant.
Yes.
So I was handling quite a number of things in
Sure.
the program.
Sure.
And most of the time, my boss kept on telling me, Brenda, you're doing very well.
Okay.
You're like a gift. One time he said, you are like a dynamite hidden somewhere, just to be given an opportunity, and you explode.
That was good. Actually, it really encouraged you to even work more hard, yeah?
Seriously. And my responsibilities were increasing day by day.
Sure, sure.
I finished my master's.
Great.
Graduated with another first class.
Wow. Congratulations again.
Thank you.
Okay.
There I was, I'm like, wow, Brenda, you've made it.
Okay.
And this is not, I was earning these marks through hard work and
It is true. Sure.
And I believed in myself. And I also wanted to prove a point to the society.
Sure.
Despite being physically challenged,
Yes.
you can scale the heights.
Yes.
And you can be that person
Very true.
whom the employers and the society can depend on.
Sure.
People who can count on you.
Thank you very much for that part. Thank you very much, our viewer, for watching us at this time. We will hook up after break. Stay tuned.
Are you wondering how your business will grow or how that client will get to know of you? Look no further. Captain TV is the real deal. We are offering you a chance to take your business to the next level. Come and get yourself the greatest offer ever. We have a package for everyone. For more information, call us on 0717 424 866 or email us on info@captaintv.co.ke.
Welcome back, our viewer, and thank you for being with us. The conversation we have is about her life or her journey in life and how she made it up to this far. Brenda,
Yes.
what is that move that keeps you proceeding in life?
When I discovered that disability does not give you a platform to belong, I decided that I want to prove the society wrong. You know very well that the moment someone sees you in crutches, in calipers, on a wheelchair, you're blind, you're deaf, their perception changes.
Sure.
Even for them to associate with you,
It becomes a problem.
it becomes a problem.
Sure.
They treat you differently. Like, we could be walking with someone, let's say my brother or a friend, and we want to buy something, and the shopkeeper or the attendant will ask my brother or my friend, what does she want?
Wow.
Does that mean I don't know how to talk?
Sure, sure.
The fact that I'm on crutches, does it mean I cannot communicate? That is our society. But myself as Brenda, I decided, let me try and undo things.
Sure.
And to undo things, it was to always remain positive. That is what made me to get where I am. Because even the network that I had through PLE and friends, they appreciated me because they could see that disability is not weighing me down.
Wow, that is very interesting, and I think that should be the way to go, because you find people who are disabled, you find someone begging in the streets instead of going and do something. I think that is the way to go. You should undo those the aspect that people are thinking about you or saying that you cannot do it or you cannot make it. And I think that is, you did a very good thing by undoing those things and disapproving them that you can do it. Yes.
You see, begging in the street is contributed by several factors. Mm-hmm. Possibly this person with disability who is seated in the street borrowing, they never got, possibly the challenges were too much, and they decided to leave home without knowing where they are going. And so everywhere they're experiencing stigmatization, marginalization,
right.
And there is no opportunity for them. So let's not blame them.
Yeah, sure. But you see, at a point, I find that for the opportunity you had up to this far, I think you hunted for that opportunity.
Yes.
I don't think, I want to believe that the opportunity came to you. You had to ensure that you know how to type 60 words per minute, yes, to ensure that you lure someone to your side. Yeah.
That is true, because also I spoke of the inner drive, the Brenda who wanted to undo the mindsets of the people, what they think about a person living with a disability. And remember, I'm physically challenged. I am a woman. So being a woman also, you're having your own problems.
Sure.
You know that?
Sure.
So I was working out to change all that.
Very true.
And I succeeded.
Sure.
Yes.
Wow, I think that is very interesting. That is quite encouragement. Now that you just mentioned that you're a woman, yes, it is true. And how are you managing it, being a woman, and you see you're in this state, and you see also that you also maybe need to start up your family. So how did you go about this?
Now talk about families.
Yes.
Men are explorers.
Very true.
When it comes to women with disability.
Okay.
I'll give 2 examples.
Right.
One time a man walks to me, and then he goes like, Brenda, are you like other women?
Uh-huh.
I was like, what are you talking about?
Uh-huh.
How do the other women look like?
And you see, she's talking with someone who is who's learned, in fact.
Brilliant lady. Then I asked him, what are you looking for? He said, I'm not sure whether to date you or to try first and see whether you are like any other woman. Mm-hmm. I just laughed,
Okay.
Because this is our life.
Yeah, it is true.
And I have accepted it.
Sure.
And I've decided nothing will put me down.
Sure.
So even if you talk to me in a very negative way,
yes,
I smile.
Very true.
I convert that into a joke. We laugh, and you go.
Wow.
And it doesn't affect me.
Okay.
I can say I've been dating.
Mm-hmm.
Currently, no.
Okay.
I'm not dating anyone.
Yes.
I have a boy. He's called Enoch.
Okay. That is good.
Handsome young man.
Wow. Awesome. Okay.
But the reason why I could not marry his father, it's a long story. Yeah, but still, even in those hiccups of dating and loving,
yes,
nothing affected me directly. Of course, as a woman, you'll feel bad.
Very true, very true.
But then, as I said, I have an inner drive.
Right.
When things are not working, I jump to the next one. When they're not working, I jump to another one.
That is really interesting.
Because I have to move on.
Yes.
Yes.
Now that currently you're not dating and you're not with anyone, but I want to just clarify something. Is it because of the stigma that you are in this state, or maybe just normal issues that we really, or we consider, or we face in our society?
No, not that I'm not, well, I said I'm not dating anyone, not because of stigmas or prejudices.
Right.
I have reached to a level whereby a man has to think twice before he makes a move.
Mm-hmm.
I have a colleague who was telling me, Brenda, for anyone to convince you into dating, he really needs to calculate his words.
Okay.
Because you are always alert and you want to be sure that this is the right thing.
Sure.
I don't need an explorer. I don't need someone who is coming to try and check and confirm few things,
Sure, it is
what
true.
he's thinking.
I get it.
So it's not that I'm not open, I'm
Right.
open for
Sure,
relationships,
sure,
but
sure.
currently I'm just busy.
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
I think that is good.
Yeah.
It all depends on your choices in life.
Yeah.
Now, I think while I was doing my research, I don't know whether I misgot this one. I found that you went to London or to the US. I don't know.
Not US, not London.
Okay.
I was in Europe.
Okay, that is good.
When I was doing my master's, I happened to meet a team from Liliana Foundation. And they were impressed by what I'm doing to address matters of disability. I advocate all the way from the grassroots in the village up to here in Tangaza College. And I call myself a disability inclusion champion. When I see something that is not working, I'll start talking.
Sure.
And because of that, through Father Theodore of Mill Hill Fathers, he linked me with the Liliana Foundation. And when they heard my story, you know, every person with disability has a story to tell.
Very true.
It's never been easy for all of us,
Sure.
whether you're born in a rich family or a poor family.
Right.
Things that are affecting the poor one, they're also affecting you who is in the riches. So when they heard my story, they felt they should invite me to share that at an international level. So I was invited they were calling it Right Shop. And they wanted me to share my story and how I overcame.
Right.
Brenda then and Brenda now. So I wrote about from social exclusion to social inclusion. That's how I ended up in Netherlands, a place called Alkmaar. The same year, they invited me once again to go and discuss about parenting children with special needs in the global south.
Okay.
Second time I was in the plane. Then I came back. And through that, I've been participating in different conferences, presenting different papers.
Okay.
So I've made it.
Oh, that is good.
Yes.
You really made it.
Yeah.
That is why you're here today.
Yes.
Now you're talking about you even went to Europe and to Netherlands for those conferences. If you try to differentiate between the mode of transport here we have in Kenya and that one you experienced in abroad, in relation to people who are physically challenged, comment something?
You're taking me back to my master's thesis. I was looking at why policies are not implemented to address public transport in Kenya. When I went to Europe, first of all, at the airport, right here in Kenya, I was received so well. And I flew with KLM. When I reached in Holland, someone was there waiting for me.
Wow.
Because in the ticket it was indicated, I'm disabled, I need assistance.
Sure.
Looking at their transport system,
Yes.
it's perfect.
Okay.
No struggling.
Yes.
Because the person who was waiting for me, we use train. You can access it easily, even with a wheelchair.
Wow, that is
Their
nice.
buses are good.
Okay.
And I kept on telling myself, Brenda, you hear of development. Now you are in contact with development.
That is really
This
nice.
is what it is.
That is
so
good.
their transport, you can't compare.
Okay.
Yeah.
How have you been making to access Tangaza now that you use the matatus during the morning while you're coming to work? So have you maybe faced some cases of kind of those guys or the matatus are not friendly to you?
I'm telling you, every morning when I wake up,
Yes.
the first thought that comes to my mind
Oh my.
is that, how will you make it to Tangaza? I live in Gong,
Okay.
and our matatus, you know the speed.
Sure.
And when you put your first leg,
It's already gone.
it's moved.
Wow.
And I've been trying to talk to the conductors, even to the drivers when I sit next to them. Because as I said, I like advocating for disability inclusion. And somehow Some of them, they know me, so they are a little bit kind. But before then, I cannot count the many times I was falling. When I'm entering, I fall. When I'm coming out, I'm falling. And they don't care.
Okay.
And this is something that needs to be addressed.
Sure.
Because we are so many. And you can be late, and the employer will not understand. Maybe you left the house at 6:30. I'm just coming here in Tangaza. It's like 20 minutes drive, eh? But I'll take like an hour waiting for the right matatu so that I can enter and come. So it's a real challenge when it comes to public transport. And I'm not driving.
Sure.
Yeah.
Oh, I think that's really nice. But despite all those challenges, you're still making it.
Of course, I make it because, you see, when you have a positive mind,
Yes.
you don't worry what is happening to you.
Very true.
You're just focused. You know what you want. So this falling, you fall and stand up. I don't fall and sleep there.
Okay.
Yeah.
With relation to that, maybe you can give us or share with us some suggestions that maybe someone who is watching us and is one of the top management or working somewhere in line with their disability, maybe you can get to here and maybe do something on that.
What I think is that public transport should not be privatized. The government needs to address that issue of privatization of public transport. Because if the government, like now when I spoke of Europe, they belong to the government. The public transport belongs to the government. And that's why they can streamline the systems. But now, if I talk, I interviewed Simon Kimtai. So Simon Kimtai can talk to his team and tell them that please, when you see someone with disability, when you see someone in a wheelchair, kindly assist them to get into a matatu, maintaining their dignity. Because if you just carry me in a funny way, it also makes me feel bad. But if the bus stops completely and I enter slowly and I sit down, then they move, then that one is okay. As they think of addressing the other issues of putting aside a chair that will belong to a person with disability, or coming up with systems that will work. That's the advice I can give the public transport sector.
Wow, that's really interesting. I hope someone will get to hear that and do something. Now, in terms of accessing buildings in our institutions, how do you think about that?
Well, I'll use Tangaza as an example. When
Right.
I joined Tangaza, we didn't have ramps. And I could struggle a lot, especially to access the building where my office was. One day I was rained on, trying to come into the building. I requested somebody to hold my hand and he refused. And so I had to go back to the cafeteria to wait for the rain to stop or to cease. And through that, I managed to get through the leadership, influenced, advocated, and now we have ramps and
Sure.
a lift
Sure.
in the building.
Sure.
But other buildings, the old buildings in the city and also in other places, some are accessible, some are not. But I think the government is addressing that. Yeah.
Oh, that's really nice.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Brenda, for coming to our show today. We've really learned so many things about you. Thank you very much, Ovio, for being with us today in our show, I Can Make It. I hope you've learned so many things about disability in relation to the society. And Brenda today has really been an icon of encouragement to those who are thinking that they cannot make it in life. She has shared her story from her childhood up to this far. And you see, it has been a long journey, but despite of that, she made it. So maybe Brenda, as we wind up, what else can you share with us? Or do you have something else to finalize?
Yes. In summary, I can say that when you make it in life, people's perception changes. They want to be your friend. They want to network with you, collaborate with you, and do stuff with you. That is what is happening in my life. But then also, I want to urge the government to give persons with disability an opportunity to demonstrate their capabilities and skills that they have.
Thank you very much for that part. You've really encouraged someone who is outside there. Thank you very much for being with us and to our program I Can Make It. You can also contact us through 0717 424 866. You can also SMS us through 21129. She has been my guest,
Brenda Kiema.
and I have been your host, Elijah Kaaka. God bless you.